A few months ago, I completed the K39 V3 build with a Ryzen 7 5700X3D and the temperature was bad. Even with undervolting, the outperformed Blackridge cooler with a 120mm slim knock-to fan could not handle the chip due to the gap between the heatsink and the side panel, which causes the fan to recirculate hot air in the case. Today, I will try a taller cooler, the IS-55 RGB from ID Cooling, and see if we can get a better temperature in this case. The one I bought was a used unit sold by ID Cooling on Amazon for $29.59. Despite the beaten up box, everything seems good inside. The cooler is usually discounted, so buying this saved me around $7 to $10 pre-tax. There are three versions: black with RGB, and I chose white with RGB because my case is white. Here are some specifications of the cooler from ID Cooling website. This works on Intel and AMD AM4 AM5 systems. The cooler can cool up to 125 watt TDP CPU. There are 5 anti-gravity heat pipes that ID Cooling claims to support all orientations. It has base copper and aluminum fins. Fan speed ranges from 500 to 2000 RPM, and its noise is 31.2 dBA max. Really? Next is to disassemble the build to remove the Blackridge cooler. Removing the cooler from an AM4 motherboard has always been the scariest part. Nearly every time I tried, the CPU keeps being stuck to the heatsink and ripped from the socket. It has happened to 3 of my Ryzen CPUs, but luckily none has been damaged. In order to install the new cooler, we need to grab the stock motherboard backplate. I stored it in my motherboard box, but I can imagine some people could lose this after using different CPU coolers. Then place 4 stand-offs on each 4 corners, take out the 2 curvy AMD brackets, and place them on top of the stand-offs. You can use the screws that come with your motherboard to secure the brackets, but mine were too short, so I used the one coming with the cooler. Add some thermal paste to the CPU. I got this RTX MX4 tube in 2019 and there is still some paste to use. Because the I/O of the Asus B550i was too tall, which prevents the cooler from overhanging the I/O, the cooler must be used with low profile RAM. If ID Cooling has shorter AMD brackets, this cooler could have rotated 90 degrees by combining with VLP memory. It is not possible with AMD boards, but if you use Intel boards, you may have 3 to 4 orientations to install this cooler. You have the option to use the provided screwdriver to fasten the heatsink without detaching the fan. Nevertheless, for my convenience, I uninstall the fan and use my screwdriver to make it easier. If your case has clearance and you want to use thicker fan, the cooler comes with longer fan screws to install a full-size 120mm fan. All the step-by-step installation can be found in the guidebook, which is extremely detailed and easy to understand. With the cooler mounted to the motherboard, we can now rebuild the PC. After a month, I finally completed the heatsink replacement. As I mentioned, the CPU cooler was installed with the heat pipes pointing downward. This orientation allowed me to install back the motherboard's M.2 SSD heatsink. A quick recap: I used PPO2 tuner to undervolt the Ryzen 7 5800X3D, and these are my settings. Last time, when I tried running Cinebench R23, the temperature maxed out at 90 degrees within seconds. With the new cooler, I ran Cinebench a few times to heat up the system. You can see that the max temperature was around 89 degrees when all the cores were pushed. Overall, Cinebench score was around 14,000 points, which was similar to last time. So, in Cinebench, I do not see the improvement in temperature or performance when switching to the new cooler. In the last video, running CSGO would cause the PC to hit 90 degrees limit easily. However, with the new cooler, the max temperature was only around 82 and average temp was 70 degrees after 10 minutes of playing. In Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1080p, the CPU was very cool and only hit 71 degrees on average and maxed out at 85 degrees. Here's the reason that this video took so long to make. Cyberpunk Phantom of Liberty was so good that I had to finish it. Anyway, the average CPU temperature was around 71 degrees and the max temperature was around 85 degrees. Also, the GPU temperature in the K39 V3 is very similar to the V2. The hotspot was a bit high, around 87 degrees, but it did not cause the card to be throttled. To keep the CPU fan from being noisy, in fan control, the maximum fan speed was set to 90%, which means I still have some fan speed headroom if I want to reduce the temperature further. With the new cooler, I am very happy to see my Ryzen 7 5800X3D not being cooked. Even though the CPU fan was closer to the side panel, the turbulence noise was quite minimal, and the loudest sound of the system was from the fan of the RTX 3060 Ti during gaming. Let's listen. Well, finally, we managed to somewhat tame the 5800X3D with the IS-55 cooler, despite still being hot when we tested with Cinebench. In gaming, which was the main reason that I got the CPU for, it kept the chip under control. With the price, the hype, and the aesthetics of the cooler, I think the IS-55 was a very good match for your K39 V3, and I will have the links for parts I used in the description. Despite completing the build, I decided to move the system to another case. In my last video, I reviewed the Gigabyte RTX 4060 low profile, and I have found a new case for it. The case looks absolutely beautiful, and it seems to fit the card perfectly. If you are interested in checking it, please subscribe so you won't miss it when the video comes out in a really near future. Hopefully. That's the end of today's video. I hope you already had a great holiday break like me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.